everyone, it's Naomi Sneakus, and welcome to the Firecracker Department Aftershow. This is when we all come together, the community, the core members, and we talk about past podcast episodes and what got us jazzed from the discussion that I have with these amazing guests. Right now, we have AJ Edmonds, who's in Toronto, sometimes in Los Angeles, and heads up not only creative content for Firecracker Department, but she does brand kit development. She edits this after show beautifully, and she's just an all-around firecracker. And then we've got Nadine Brito for the first time, who's over in Toronto, and she heads up the writing department and hosts our weekly writing burst workshops. Oh, I love those so much. And then we've got Emily Churchill, who is in Los Angeles and who heads up our wellness department and does a monthly meditation for the Firecracker department. Mwah! I love you all. And we are talking about Eva Taylor today. So Eva is the founder of Chicks with Scripts. She's not only that, she's like a writer, she's a creator, she's a lawyer. I think she does part-time surgery on the weekends and builds homes for people that need homes. She's just one of those people that can do it all. Tell me what you thought about my discussion with Eva.
Able to present their authentic selves. And I mean, she said so much that was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like my favorite thing, so many things, but my favorite one was, I will use my tiny violin.
Yeah. But she had, like, her life, she deserved a larger violin than
an
just
orchestra.
An orchestra.
Truly.
She went through a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what a remarkable journey to go on with the motivation of everything she's chosen to do to be able to support and sustain her family.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm fascinated by these incredible women that start their lives. Because she's not the only one in our group that sort of started in a position of wanting to be a doctor or wanting to be something very practical, something that where you see the tangible effects of your presence. And then the arts, just, you couldn't deny it. And it was amazing to hear her talk about that journey.
Yeah.
And rising above, you know, seeing beyond it.
Just the whole journey of starting Chicks with Scripts, which is such an amazing organization for writers that need to find a way into writers' rooms. Like, just, you know, it's the giving back to the community. She doesn't need to do that, but she does. Emily, what about you? What did you think of this chat?
The one thing that really resonated with me was how she didn't want to overwhelm people with her trauma. And when she said that, I was like, oh yeah, because like I feel that way also, because you know there's a lot of situations from Springfield, Illinois, and you know you want to be like, okay, everybody take a breath, it's all right, I'm okay, you know. And I feel like by her saying that, it was the first time that someone put it into words, because I was like, yes, that's how I feel. I don't want to overwhelm people with this stuff, you know. And I just loved how she put it that way, because it's great.
And yet we have to tap into that stuff, because that's our story, right? That's our vulnerability. That's the thing that's going to lead to the creative writing. So how do you tap into it without overwhelming? What do you think, Nadine? Oh, Emily, did you have something to add there?
Oh no, that's a great question. I don't know.
I need some answers. I need some hard answers with this stuff. Nadine?
Yeah, so it was amazing to hear her speak, because she just articulated so much about how I feel about my own personal journey in the industry as well. And just, she was so honest and so, like, I could just see, I think that if I had listened to my parents, I would be a lawyer like her and then trying to drop out like years later. So it was for me, I really needed to hear that, just that, like, this is such a journey that you're on. And well, yeah, I'll just end there. I'm trying to still figure out what I want to say about it, but like, it was wonderful to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, go AJ.
Sorry. The beautiful thing about a lot of the people we talk to is rarely are they in the tail end of their career. You know, like a lot of the women we talk about are like, no, I'm finding my success now, and I'm finding it from a place of comfort with the journey I've been on. And no one talks about that kind of stuff when we're at school. It's like, you will be a performer, full stop, no other plans. Should you have other plans, see yourself out the door. Like, that was my turning point at college. Was I had a teaching instructor, an acting instructor, who said, if you have a plan B, you should not be in this class. You are not welcome in acting. And I had that moment being like, well, I guess I don't belong here because I'm from a world of plan Bs, of making sure that I'm a diverse member of society. And I walked away from it because of that statement. And I love hearing, like you were saying, Nadine, this like journey and people go on, and we expect that journey happens in 3 days. When really, I think Eva's in, her late 30s or 40s, and like she's still evaluating how impactful her 20s were on what she's doing now.
Yeah. I mean, God, who knows what's going to happen? Look at Abby McEnany from Work in Progress. Like, she's 51, and it took her 5 years to develop that show. Like, who's to say when everything's supposed to come into place? And what happens if it comes into place and then comes into place again?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Nadine, what did you think?
Yes, and the bit of advice that I really took away was she talked about how women have this tendency to wait to be an expert at something before before saying they can do it, and that is something that like I've always had to work on in my own life, and just hearing her just say that is so powerful.
Yeah. Emily, anything further on this chat?
Well, I feel like we had a lot of similar experiences in life. But I don't know if y'all know this, but I was going to be a music teacher. That's right. And I was ready to go, had my classes done. 2 weeks before I went to school, my dad's like, daughter, teachers don't make a lot of money. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I literally changed my major to marketing. I'm not kidding. In 2 weeks, even though I knew I was going to be an actor, I was like, okay, I'll do the marketing. It's fine. Because I was going to go into pharmaceutical sales because, that's what you do. And when she was saying that she was moving around careers, I was like, yes, I know that feeling. Who doesn't really, right? But that was so funny, yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank goodness for the comedy community that you didn't go into pharmaceutical sales.
Can you imagine?
A joker from your industry. I remember getting into theater school and calling them up and saying, like, because I was so nervous about committing myself to such a unsure future. And I called up and I was like, I would like to defer this application for 1 year. And they're like, you can't. I'm like, thank you very much. And then I called back literally 15 minutes and I'm like, hi, Naomi Sneakus again. I would like to get a teacher's certificate from this process. And they're like, you can't. I'm like, okay. So I ended up just like going, I'm going to go for the first term. In the first week, I was like, oh, I'm just going to do this. It's going to be painful and it's not going to be secure, but I don't want to do anything else.
That's so funny. That was my experience at actual university. So after I left musical theater college, I was like, I went to university because I had a plan B. Yeah. And I remember getting there and the first week I walked into the counselor's office and I was like, hello, I don't belong here. I am not an academic. I'm going to likely fail, but I just need you to tell me how quickly I get through what is supposed to be 4 years and make it shorter. And she was like, well, you need to be academic. I was like, okay, well then I'll be academic. I remember doing the same thing, which is like, I don't want to be here, but I've been told that like this is the thing to do. So just help me get through it. She was like, okay.
Wow. Amazing. What journeys, huh? Any final thoughts about Eva's chat that I had with her on our podcast? Anything that you're left with, that you're taking away? I always think there's quotes from every discussion I have that are like t-shirts. One day we'll get t-shirts with all the different fantastic quotes. Final thoughts, Emily?
Well, I did write down Marshalls with an exclamation point because she was mentioning she loves getting a deal. And I love Marshalls because every time I go, I feel like I'm getting a deal. So I'm like, Marshalls!
I mean, if we can teach anything at this podcast, it's how to get a good deal. Nadine?
I really liked your quote about being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
What do I have coming up? I've just moved, so I'm building benches.
Yes.
Oh. So I'm just DIYing because I got a lot of empty space to fill. And then from Firecracker perspective, we're doing Real Women and Spotlight. So working with a lot of women whose films are being featured on Real Women, and then we're interviewing them, which is really exciting. And also just trying to keep that creativity flowing.
Keep it going, buds.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Yeah. we have a little hiatus right now, but then we'll launch back into Naomi Gets Schooled that I'm excited about, where I have little firecrackers, which we're calling sparklers, and they're teaching me things because I have a lot to learn. I didn't know how to make slime, and now I do, kind of. So go to firecrackerdepartment.com to check out Naomi Gets Schooled and all these projects, but all these everythings. We have so much going on, and it's all at firecrackerdepartment.com. On our social medias, Firecracker DEPT. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter and our podcast and get involved. We have a community that is for so many of you. And as we say, there's always room for another chair at the Firecracker table. So pull up a chair. Might be a stool, might be a box turned upside down, might be a cooler, but you're always welcome at the table. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.